Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and analyzing the newest exclusive sneak peek for next week's episode of The Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 5, The Big Scary You. With that being said, warning is spoilers for everything in the show up to episode 805, and let's jump right into this. So just like last week, I'll be discussing the opening moments for next week's episode of The Walking Dead. Every week, AMC releases the first 3 minutes or so of the following week's episode on a special service called AMC Premiere, which you can sign up for with a monthly subscription. So while I won't be showing the sneak peek in this video due to it being exclusive content, I'll still be discussing it and explaining it as I recap it in full and give my opinions and predictions. Now if you'd like to check out my first prediction video for 805, where I go over both YouTube promos along with the Talking Dead sneak peek, feel free to go check that out as well, but this will only be focusing on the opening scenes for episode 805. Alright, so just like last week, the opening moments actually consist fully of flashbacks. Now there are 2 flashbacks to be exact, the first of Gabriel along with the second being about Gregory and Simon. So let's go ahead and first discuss Gabriel, and we'll get into the Gregory and Simon situation a bit later on in the video. So the episode starts out with Gabriel praying in the church at Alexandria alone right before the war begins, and he drops some serious truth about his journey throughout the entirety on the show. I'm going to go ahead and quote exactly what Father Gabriel says here, and then we're going to go ahead and look at it and break it down bit by bit. So he says, and I quote, "I might die here, and I most likely will die. I'm not asking to live. You've given me redemption, and that's what makes me no longer fear death. What I fear is a fruitless death. And what I ask for, after you have given me so much, is purpose." So this not only summarizes his entire character arc on the show, it also foreshadows his death, possibly. As Gabriel prays, he mentions that he's not really asking to live, but that he wants the rest of his life to serve a purpose, however short or long the rest of it may be. Father Gabriel also mentions this huge redemption arc that he's had throughout the show, along with how it allowed him to overcome his fears. This is true, and I have so much to discuss about it that I won't actually go into much detail here, as I'd like to save it for its own discussion video. I've been meaning to do a Father Gabriel character spotlight discussion ever since he was kidnapped by Jadis in Season 7, and I still plan on getting around to it sooner than later, so sorry about that, but for now I'd like to wait until his story arc with Negan at the Sanctuary fully unfolds. So anyways, when a character dies on this show, they want them to go out with a meaning, and I mean this from both the perspectives of the characters within the show, along with the perspectives of the show writers creating the show. Whenever the showrunners kill off a main character, now they try to make the story around that death as meaningful as possible. Sasha during the Season 7 finale is a perfect example of that, as everything in the story built up to her death as she actually sacrificed herself for the greater good, and the show writers did an excellent job portraying this. Now as far as the actual characters go and how they feel on the show, if someone is going to die in an apocalypse like this, they want to go out with a bang and for good reason, usually helping serve their people. No one wants to die in vain, and that's exactly what Gabriel is praying to not happen to him. Now, I'll keep this very vague to avoid spoilers in case they keep it the same on the show, but Father Gabriel gets a very meaningless death in the comics. It is very brutal and out of nowhere, and it doesn't really serve much purpose other than serving as part of the realism that anyone can die at any time. So yes, when Father Gabriel says that he fears a fruitless death, it means a death without a purpose. So will Gabriel get a meaningless death on the show like in the comics, or will he get his wish of going out with a bang? Gabriel mentions during one of the 805 sneak peeks that he became a priest because he loves people and he loves God, so he wants to bring those two things together, along with helping people with their weaknesses. This concept of wanting a purposeful life and death just furthers the idea of wanting to help people. So this will almost likely play into Gabriel's conversations with Negan, but how exactly? Will it all simply link together in the way that I just mentioned, or is there something else said between Gabriel and Negan in the episode that relates to this? Maybe Gabriel and Negan will discuss how they'd like to die or what they want to accomplish before they die? Now moving on to Gregory and Simon, we get shown Gregory the day after arriving at the Sanctuary, which would have been in between Seasons 7 and 8. He wakes up on a small bed in what I assume is his own guest room. Simon explains that the location he gave Gregory last episode wasn't the Sanctuary, but it was in fact the satellite outpost from Season 6, the same one that we see Tara, Jesus, and Morgan attacking this season as well. Apparently, according to Maggie, Cal drove Gregory there and left him there. Gregory stayed there waiting for Simon to show up as he is the leader of it. Now when Gregory went there, he had to actually wait for Simon to arrive as Simon was in the middle of the whole clusterfuck that happened at Alexandria during the Season 7 finale. And so when Simon does finally show up to the satellite outpost after retreating from Alexandria in the season 7 finale, he brought Gregory to the sanctuary. Now I'm surprised that we didn't see Gregory arriving at that outpost waiting for Simon. I guess they did a good enough job telling us what happened through Simon's conversation with Gregory in this flashback, but I feel like we should have seen that anyways. It would have been nice to see the miscellaneous saviors give Gregory a hard time at the satellite outpost as he waits for Simon to show up. After all, the last group of saviors that lived in that outpost wanted the hilltop to bring them Gregory's head. Maybe we could have had another scene with Gregory and or Simon discussing that painting that Simon took from the hilltop. In episode 803, I believe we saw the painting hanging on the wall beside that asshole pretending to piss himself in the closet. Anyways, Simon wakes up Gregory and walks in with a breakfast of pancakes and eggs, I believe, that he specifically made for him. In Simon's words, "There's a lot of love on this plate because I wanted to express love to you." This is all because Simon continuously tells Gregory that he did the right thing coming to him if he felt something was wrong. Gregory puts on his naive act, and I can't tell how much of it Simon believes. Now I do think that Simon knows that Gregory is lying to him, or acting more stupid and innocent than he really is, but to what extent? Gregory keeps saying kiss-ass lines such as complimenting how outstanding the outpost was, and Simon just mentions that he doesn't need to keep repeating himself as he apparently mentioned that 3 times now. This conversation obviously leads up to Simon and Negan convincing Gregory to convince the hilltop to stand down in episode 801. And considering that Simon looks after the group of saviors that collects the supplies from the hilltop, along with being the one who brought Gregory to the sanctuary, this pretty much made Gregory Simon's responsibility. This just adds even more emphasis to Simon telling Gregory that he was very disappointed in him when he pushed him down the stairs in episode 801. So what do you guys think about all the flashback sequences this season? Have you been able to keep up with them all, or have they been going a bit overboard with them? I personally appreciate what they're doing, but I wish that they'd make the flashbacks more obvious somehow, like how they used those gray scenes in the season 6 premiere to show when the scenes were in the past. Anyways guys, I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, or even subscribe for more Walking Dead content in the near future. If you'd like to take that extra step in helping support my videos, check out my Patreon where there's a bunch of different rewards involving the channel, such as a chance to directly influence the videos being produced. It isn't necessary by any means, but some of these videos really do take a while, so it could help in the long run. But as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.